Yeah. Yeah. Hello, hi everyone. So we will share the screen. Mm, Yeah. Mm, I think some of them has missed out the portion on the last lesson. So let me just try to set up. All right. Let's. Okay. Yeah. So this topic is about portable fire extinguisher. And portable fire extinguisher will be part of the question. Let me just go through. I think I missed the recording, so we'll just share on this part. Learning objective is at this end of lessons, the student will be able to explain about the fire extinguisher, different type of fire extinguisher and the extinguishing agent. Yeah, explain about training, design, placement of fire extinguisher, and discussion of maintenance, inspection, regarding the fire extinguisher. All right. All right. So overall view is there's an introduction and then type of fire extinguisher agent, fire summaries, the design concept and summaries, and then we have some reference. For fire extinguisher, the fire extinguisher regulation is Fire Code 2030. We also use SS 578 as a use of portable fire extinguisher for that, and then SS this SS 3N EN3. Yeah. So Fire Code 2023 is used for all provision. Supposedly all groups shall be provided with the portable fire extinguisher except some purpose group 1 and 2. And group 2 is basically on the residential floor, and then parking area in the standalone parking or any mixed residence building. That will be the fire extinguisher. So SS 578 is one of the code of practice we use, and the codes require all possible fire extinguishers should be charged, tested, and operated and tagged in 578. Right. Yeah, in SS EN3, there is a series, and this series is about fire extinguisher and about the portable fire extinguishers characteristics and relevant codes. And basically follows SS EN3. Yeah. So fire extinguisher, yeah. So this is quite common. Basically, we will talk about some fire extinguisher, how it works. There's a safety pin, two handles, and a nozzle. And the pressure, basically, if you can see, let me turn on. Yeah, yeah. There is a pressure gauge in the center. There's nozzle, the handle, and you squeeze. Basically, the high pressure canisters will come off. Kind of the mass inside or the extinguishing materials inside will then be coming out. So then it collects and it has a mass of not more than 20 kg. It is designed for untrained personnel to fight fire. So basically, it's not like a fire fighter where you is kind of having some more technical challenges. So fire extinguishers is more for untrained people, limited to media and all kind of free resource exchange, and basically has time of discharge. So as you can see, there's different fire extinguisher. Mainly there are, we can put them in six. It's water, carbon dioxide, foam, fire, wet agent, and cleaning agent. A fire extinguisher has also fire triangle that we need to learn. The oxygen always present in the air, indexing space which has hot surfaces, and the fuel which is flammable, either gas, liquids, or solids. Yeah, fire extinguishment has to kind of understand about the higher fire attractant, uh, tetrahedron. So oxygen, heat, and fuel, and then there's a change reaction below. Fire extinguisher also has presented occurrence and then support combustion, and then basically fuel supports combustion and oxygen sustain combustion. Heat raises and material, and there's a change reaction. So extinguishing any one of them will actually extinguishes the fire. So removing any of the element will extinguish as starvation, smoothing, cooling, or by elimination. So any removing any part of this will actually reduce or extinguish a fire. So there are 5 different classes of fire: class A, B, C, D, and F. So A mainly on solids, combustible; B mainly on combustion liquid; C mainly on combustion gases; and D mainly on combustion metals; and F is more on cooking media in the commercial kitchen. So media, fire extinguisher media, water, use of cooling, removal heat source, quite easily done and available. Water is an effective cooling agent, absorbing the latent heat, especially is effective in Class A fire. Water is heavy, it can force out a fire penetrating deep, seated inside and putting out any smoother ember, and it's not safe for other classes. So ordinary water will spread fire, and then if it's a class C fire, right, you will conduct electricity, and then that's why it's not very safe. Forms is a form of detergent or protein based kind of materials or compound, and then it can float over class B fire, forming a vapor-proof seals and smoother fire. Form is effective, form extinguishers and prevent reignite, so fire cannot reignite again. But form cannot be used in class D fire, then neither it can use in fire class F. Class F is one of the kitchen because of the tremendous heat. So each media actually has its effectiveness in a certain area. Foam is effective as a fire extinguishing agent because it forms a aqueous forming form called AFFF. It's a hydrocarbon suffocant, which is basically takes away the oxygen part of it, and then it lowers the tension between the two liquids and a solid. So it is recommended for hydrocarbon fire, such as diesel or class B fire, right? Yeah, so fire extinguisher form, as I just mentioned, it could be a AFFF, or it is also a polymer concentrate, that mixture of foam and water, and then air bubbles are formed so that it basically prevents the fire to spread and kind of level it very quickly. Fire extinguishment, another agent we see is dry powder. Dry powder is bouldering effect, inhibit chemical reaction. Yeah, dry powder prevent chemical task extinguish a fire. Most importantly, there are BC fires, sodium potassium bicarbonate for class B and C, and then ABC powder are like monoammonium phosphate, and then it kind of flows and then smoothen the class smoother class A fires, and then if it's chemical and it is chemical inhibitant. So dry powders are chemical inhibitant used in class B and class C fire. Yeah. So dry powder works in a multi-purpose. They do not cool, reduce the effectiveness of class A fire. The discharge is very messy, and sometimes it will come back. So if let's say it has electricity, right, it will damage all those electrical parts. So a lot of time when there is electrical fire, we hardly use that. And then electrical power, ABC power is ineffective in class F fire because of heat and flashback. Right, so there's some use of a power fire extinguisher. There's a very a simple small final YouTube video, but you can kind of click on it. Fire extinguishment, the other one we talk about is about CO2. CO2 cuts off the supply of oxygen, right? And then the fire will reduce. CO2 is also a non-conductive gas. It displaces oxygen and smoother a fire. Then CO2 used in live electrical equipment penetrates flood enclosure and leaves no residues. CO2 can also dissipate and then reignite again. CO2 effective in small area, right? Small class 5 fire, and as ineffective against class, cannot be used. And then 4% CO2 is good enough to cause symptoms and CO2 poisoning. 8% enough is good to kill a person. So sometimes that's called CO2 poisoning. Yeah. Okay, the other one we talk about is wet chemical. So wet chemical is basically to break down the chain reaction between them, right? And wet chemical are a lot of time potassium acetane or potassium carbonate base. it reacts to the fat burning class F fire and siphons and the surface into a soapy class sealing air and effective spray. So wet chemical is also a standard fire extinguisher for class F fire in a air flyer in a flying capacity over about 30 meter square. Fire extinguishment, there's a clearing agent. It's called heptafluoropropane or hectafluoropropane, which is for other type of fire agent. That is the cleaning agent. So different cleaning agent has the fire. The advantage of extinguishing agent is very effective for class B fire. Yeah, especially when you see in places where there's petrol kiosks or there is places where they actually put in your gases. These are very effective, and then it has high absorption, HCF, reduce free and then no byproduct. Disadvantage is expensive, not suitable for open area, not used for metal powder. And training and maintenance are essentials. This is a color coding for fire extinguisher. Color code indicate their type, entire body should be red. Some of the zone of the fire extinguishers is kind of identified in basically the external area, so they know what type is it. Yeah, so this is class A. Class A normally wood, paper, these are called class A. Then we use water, dry powder, foam or cleaning agent. Class B are flammable liquid, such as gasoline, alcohol, combustible liquid, right? Diesel, motor oil. We can use dry powder, foam, CO2 or clean agent to actually extinguish a fire. Class C are flammable gases like methane, hydrogen, butane, acetylene. Class F are combustible material, potassium, magnesium, and class F is cooking media. So different fire, we can use different agent to fight fire. Fire extinguish agent also rated by SSEN3, and fire extinguishers is need to be followed by alphabet. Yeah. So like class F fire, class A, B, C, D, E, F. So for example, class F fire will have a class F and then followed by some of the ratings. Yeah. Yeah. So this is like a class A fire, 13A. 13, this A means class A, 13 means is number of 50-meter wood. So they try to that it's been tested that 500 mm of wood in each sticks, and then then this is about 13 of them. Right, length of the test fire is about 1.3 meters. So this is how it's been kind of rated. Fire extinguisher, basically we call pass method: pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep. Yeah, different cartridges store in the pressure. That's how it works. Yeah, inside when it's not in use, it's in use. It is kind of activated and pushed away. Yeah, the stop pressure is permanently pressurized, and then it's propelled by gas or nitrogen, and then it kind of have an opening, pressurized content, then escape, right? And then this type of pressure gauges allow user to be checked and a serviceable extinguisher. So gas cartridge pressure is another part. A small cylinder is inside, and then when you squeeze, it get pressurized, and things will be kind of discharged. So classification of hazardous fire, there is severity and hazard, low, medium, high, and then the severity will be determined in the rating of fire extinguisher. So type of hazard will be low, medium, high. Size of fire, like small, medium size, or severe size. Yeah. So these are some of the examples. For example, low hazard, small size will be like officers' classroom. Yeah. So these are some of the examples of the premises. Yeah, fire extinguisher rating is also involved a class A fire, so it's about 15 meters of reach of a fire extinguisher. Yeah, so person should not travel more than 15 meters to reach a fire extinguisher. Fire extinguisher locate the occupant did not need to travel more than 15 meter. Minimum size of about low hazard is about 13A. So sometimes you see like offices or classroom has a 13A fire extinguisher. Yeah. So each floor, maximum floor area to be covered is about 15 meters square. So this is how it looks like. Minimum rating of a class B fire hazard, for example, will be example like 21B. So low hazard, minimum this travel distance is 5 meters. So for B is much shorter, right? All right, and then fire extinguisher, some selection, how you select it. So you start, you exceed the hazard, you cover and you require, and some of the cost is required. Installation should be highly visible, fitted with bracket. Then it's a suitable stand, more than 4 kg, and should not be more than 1 meter. So extinguisher gross weight should be less than 0.4 kg, and the handle should not more than 1.2 meter from the floor. Yeah, so this is some of the example of fire extinguisher. Sitting and portable fire extinguisher should be seated in the escape route near to the door, common lobby, and then sometimes exits near to the specific risk. So these are some of the fire extinguisher sitting position. Yeah, it's same position in each story so that people can find easily. So do not travel more than 15 meters for fire extinguisher. Yeah, so this is a visual check, see how it's been done. Should not be tempered. Some common knowledge on this. Maintenance of fire extinguisher is through examination, targeted moving component, and it should include complete examination like replacement or at least annually how it's been used. Then you should keep a record of it. Yeah, then maintenance will have a date, when it's last changed, when is the hydrostatic pressure test, when is the maintenance. Right, maintenance fire extinguisher also has a PSP testing. Yeah, sign on it. Yeah, and then when you recharge, it should be provide inspection performance, and then basically for recommendation, the manufacturer should be alert to follow. So with frequency of recharging every 2.5 years, if it's water, form, mechanical form, right? Cartridges or stored pressure. 5 years for water, powder, or powder stored under pressure. 10 years for CO2 or killing agent type. Yeah, different fire extinguisher type, you have a hydrostatic test at different interval. Yeah, I guess in the hours interval. So in summary, we learned a little bit about fire extinguisher provision. We learned about different type A, fire, type B, type C, type D. There's no E and there's F. Then we explain about testing and placement of the fire extinguishers, about 15 meters square, or 15 meters from a distance, right? Then we talk a little about maintenance, when you should send the maintenance, like every 2.5 years if you're water-based, in 5 years, and 10 years. Yeah, so basically this is fire extinguisher. Some references you can actually check. Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much. So this is about chapter 5 of portable fire extinguishers. Right, thank you so much again.